welcome to this new video tutorial. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn about what is web development and who is web developer. So let's proceed to the video and let's answer our first question: what is web development? The process of building websites or building websites for the internet is known as web development, and the one who build websites for the internet or who build websites is called as web developer. And the web developer or web development are of three types: front-end development or front-end developer, back-end development or back-end developer, full stack development or full stack developer. Now let's proceed to our first type of web development or developer, front-end developer. Websites that are built only for front-end view or the web pages that we normally see on the user point of view is known as front-end development of websites, and the one who built this part only, the front-end part only, is known as front-end developer. Usually a front-end developer uses HTML, CSS and JavaScript as a course to build front-end part of the website, and which is for the view page of user only. A user can see, or the user which sees the front page of website is actually the front-end part of website. Now let's proceed to the second part, back-end development or back-end developer. One who is responsible for back-end handling and server handling at the back-end of the web pages is called as back-end developer, and the development of website that is done on the back-end side or server side, which is usually not seen by user or a public on the website, is known as backend development, and the person who is responsible for this management of backend development is called as backend developer. Now let's proceed to our third type, which is full stack web development and full stack web developer. A person who is responsible for both front end, back end. Also a person who know how to manage database received from the front end part of website and that is known to the backend part of website and know how to manage databases is called as full stack web developer. And those developers who work on the fully fledged functional websites and they desire to develop these websites with fully fledged front-end, backend and databases are called as full stack web developer. Now let's see how the front-end of website is built. Look, the basic starts with HTML. It's like a structure. It provides a structure to the websites. Now what does CSS do? CSS provides styling, width, height, length and other code designing of the web page or website is done by CSS. Like elephant has grey color, elephant has big ears, elephants are heavy weighted and they have bulky body. So like this type of styling is done by CSS on our web pages. But the main functionality of the web page is done by JavaScript. Without the functionality, without JavaScript, our web pages will not run, and without functionality our web page is for none use. We can't use it anywhere, or we can just see it and just say it. It will be non-functional. Anything will not be working until JavaScript performs. Now for example, here we are going to see the functionality map. Suppose we go to the browser and search Amazon.in, a website for e-commerce store. So it does not like a miracle happen and the website comes. There is a long process. So we are going to discuss about this process. First of all, when we search Amazon.in in the browser, it sends a request to the backend of the Amazon server with the help of internet service provider. When the Amazon server receives a request from the search engine or the browser, it starts giving a response to show the front-end web page to the browser. So what it gives? It does not give direct front-end web page to the browser. It gives a bundle of code. In response, it gives a bundle of code. Now this bundle of code is received by browser. Now what browser do? Browser inspect it and run it. And what next is there is show the output of the bundle of code. The bundle of code's output is shown on the browser, and on the website we see the front-end part, which is the result of bundle of code of this browser. Now let's see it with more clear with example map. Suppose you go to the browser here. Let me use pen to make it more clear for you. Suppose you go to the browser, okay, you type Amazon.in. So now what next happens? The browser will send a request to the Amazon.in backend server. What next happens? The backend server will receive request from browser. Now it gets to know that I have to show something to the user, something to the show on the front page of website. So what it will do, it will create a bundle of code. That bundle of code is made up of HTML, CSS and JavaScript, which is front end page of website. Now this bundle of code will be received by browser. This bundle of code will be received by browser. And what next the browser will do? The browser will run it and inspect it, and the output will receive from the running of that code, that bundle of code. It will site view in the browser, means it will show in the browser's web page or website's front page. Now in this whole process, there is something that occurs in backend and there is something that occurs in frontend. The process of receiving request by the server, giving response to in the form of bundle of code, all these things happen at the backend part of development. But what is the front-end part of development? The bundle of code that is written using HTML, CSS and JavaScript, which is responsible for front-end view of browser or front-end view of web page in the site, is called as is occur in the front-end development. And the browser where we give command to, that browser is also, that browser's home page also, that search engine's front view also is a front-end part of development. So this is how whole full stack development map look likes. Whole process, what we do in this whole development process is not as too much easy that we think that we just type and something shown up that is already fetched in the somewhere in database. Yes, server has something bundle of code, but there is a long process. Like a browser will receive a command from the client or the user, it will give request to the server. Now the server will response in the form of bundle of code, the browser will receive bundle of code, and then what happens, the browser will run it, inspect it and to give the output on the front end page of website, and this website will be site viewed on the browser. So many process occurs in backend, many process occurs in front end, but the one who learn backend and front end development, responsible for developing websites with both front end and backend, is called as full stack web development developer. Suppose you know how to build front end web pages, you also know how to manage backend, you also know how to manage databases. So you will be considered as front end developer, and the website you will develop consists of both three parts, front end, back end and databases. This website will be called as full stack web development website. And suppose you know only using HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and you make a web page with only front end part, that is can be seen by user, so it will be considered as front end development and you will be called as front end developer. Now coming to the last point, what is back end development? Suppose browser give request to the server, you manage somewhere how the server will respond to that request. For a special request, how a special response will be given. So if you are responsible in the development of these things, you will be considered as a backend developer, and the one who knows all front end, backend and databases will be considered as full stack web developer. I hope the topic gets clear and you get to know what is front end development, what is back end development, what is full stack development, and who is full stack developer, who back end developer and front end developer. I also hope you get to know that how the whole website works, not like a miracle happens just you go to the browser and you see the results. I hope you get to know that how whole process works, and I hope it will be very helpful video for you. So I think you should keep share this video so others can also understand how this whole process of website and web development work in this world. Thanks for learning. Keep working hard.